Section 99 of the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, translated by Courtney Langdon. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. Paradiso, Canto 32. The Empyrean. God. The Angels and the Blessed. The Order of the Rose. The Blessed Children. The Great Patricians.
Intent on his delight, that contemplator the office of a teacher took unasked, and thereupon began these holy words.
The one so beautiful at Mary's feet is she who opened and who made the wound, which Mary closed again, and then anointed. In the order which up there the third seats make, Rachel beneath her sits with Beatrice, as thou perceivest, Sarah, Rebecca, Judith, and she who was that singer's ancestress, who said when he was grieving for his sin, "Have mercy on me." Thou canst thus behold downward from rank to rank, as each I name, and through the rows decline from leaf to leaf. Descending from the seventh row of seats, even as above it, Hebrew women follow, dividing all the tresses of the flower. For in accordance with the attitude their faith assumed toward Christ, these women form the wall which separates the sacred steps. On this side, where full-bloomed the flower is, complete with all its leaves, are seated those who in the Christ that was to come believed, and on the other, where the semicircles are interrupted by still vacant seats, are those who face toward Christ already come. And as on this side here the glorious throne of heaven's own Lady, and the other seats beneath it such a great partition make, so opposite the seat of that great John, who, ever holy, underwent the desert and martyrdom, and then 2 years in Hades, while Francis, Benedict, and Augustine beneath him were decreed to form the line with others down to here, from round to round. And now behold how great God's foresight is, for each of these 2 aspects of the faith will fill this garden to the same extent. And know that downward from the row of seats which midway separates the 2 divisions, no one is seated for his own deserts, but for another's, under fixed conditions. For all of these are spirits who were freed before they had the power to really choose. This by their faces thou canst well perceive, and by their childish voices furthermore, if, looking at them well, thou listen too. Thou doubtest now, and doubting thou art silent, but I will set thee free from that strong bond wherein thy subtle thoughts are holding thee. Within the ample nature of this realm, nothing can any more occur by chance, than either sadness, thirst, or hunger can. For in accordance with eternal law is settled all thou seest, so that here close fitting to the finger is the ring. These people, therefore, who before their time have reached true life, are not without good cause more excellent or less among themselves. The King, through whom this kingdom finds repose in such delight and love, that no one's will is bold enough to long for any greater, creating all minds in his own glad sight, as him it pleases, dowers each with grace in diverse ways. Here let the fact suffice. And this is clearly and expressly marked for you in Holy Scripture, by those twins who, in their mother, had their wrath aroused. According to the color of the hair of that grace, therefore, must the light supreme be worthily accorded as a crown. Without deserving aught, then, for their deeds, are these to different grades assigned, which differ in their innate keen-sightedness alone. The faith of parents only was, indeed, with innocence, enough for their salvation throughout the centuries of early times. Then, when the primal ages had elapsed, males were by circumcision forced to win the virtue needed by their guileless wings. But later, when the age of grace had come, without the perfect baptism in the Christ, such innocence was there below retained. But now look at the face which to the Christ is most resemblant, for its light alone can make thee ready to behold the Christ.
I saw such gladness raining down on her, borne by those holy minds, created such that they might fly across those altitudes, that whatsoever I had seen before ne'er held me with such admiration poised, nor showed me such resemblance unto God, and that same love which first descended there. Singing, spread out his open wings in front of her. And on all sides the beatific court made such an answer to the song divine, that every face became the more serene. O Holy Father, who for me dost bear to be down here, and leave the pleasant place, where by eternal lot thou hast thy seat, who is that angel who with such delight is at our Queen's eyes gazing, and is so enamoured that he seems to be on fire? For teaching I had thus recourse again to him who was from Mary drawing beauty, as from the sun the early morning star, and he to me,
As much self-trust and grace as can be in an angel or a soul are all in him, and we would have it so, for he it was who carried down the palm to Mary, when God's Son upon himself was pleased to take the burden of our flesh. But with thine eyes now follow after me, as I keep speaking, and note the great patricians of this most just and kind imperial state. The two that have the happiest seats up there, because the nearest to Augustus' throne, are, as it were, the two roots of this rose. He that upon the left is at her side, that father is, because of whose bold taste the human species tastes such bitterness. And on her right thou seest that ancient father of Holy Church, to whom Christ gave in trust the keys of this fair flower. And he who saw, ere dying, all that fair bride's troubled days, who with the spear and with the nails was won, beside him sits. And at the other side that leader rests, neath whom the ingrate folk, stiff-necked and fickle-minded, lived on manna. Anna thou seest sitting opposite to Peter, so content to see her daughter, that never from her doth she move her eyes, although Hosanna singing. Or 'gainst the oldest father of a family Lucia sits, who had thy lady go, when thou thy brows in downward flight didst turn. But since apace thy slumber time is fleeing, here will we pause, as that good tailor does, who cuts his gown according to his cloth, and toward the primal love direct our eyes, that, looking toward him, thou mayst penetrate as far into his splendor as thou canst. But lest perchance by moving thine own wings thou shouldst recede, believing to advance, grace needs must be obtained for thee by prayer, grace from the one who hath the power to help thee. Hence follow after me with thine affection, that from my words thy heart turn not aside.
he then began the following holy prayer.
End of Paradiso, Canto 32.